Hello, PWA reps. We're back with
Jared Gay
Katie Jefferson.
with because of your request.
and
We're
Maggie
just back.
Hansford.
We're back. We're back, baby. All right, we are here to discuss some updates with you all on kind of what we're hearing from the office and some friendly advice. Would you say?
Mhm.
So the first thing is when you're thinking about a potential grievance, right? Like the grievance we have to understand is breaking of the contract. So the language has to be within the contract that you believe is not being adhered to at your site. The first thing that we're going to ask is that you get it in writing, right? So if you all want to discuss how far we can get with
Here's the thing. Anytime that we are filing a grievance for a violation of the contract, we have to be able to prove that that violation occurred. Otherwise, even a statement from the rep or member or bargaining unit member who experienced the grievance or the violation of the CBA, even a statement from them is probably not going to go very far because it doesn't actually verify that it occurred, and it gives the division the opportunity to say, well, that's not what they were told. That's not what was said. So that's why we absolutely have to have something in writing. It can be just your supervisor confirming that the policy as they understand it is this. Better than that would be something from the division itself, asking them, can you cite what document you're basing your directive on that allows you the authority to do that? What do you have that contradicts this language in the CBA? If nothing else, though, get them to put in writing, email, for example, what they told you verbally so that you can then send that to us and we can use it when we file a grievance.
So things that we need in writing right now are if your administrator is refusing to meet with you because they believe that HR determines PWA reps and that they will not meet with you prior to HR telling them who the PWA rep is. We would like to have that in writing. We also want in writing if your administrator or principal is refusing to acknowledge multiple reps at your site. Those are the two issues right now that we are needing in writing. So if your administrator just tells you, we're going to ask that you follow up with an email to confirm that that the refusal to acknowledge you as rep, as well as the refusal to meet with multiple reps at your site.
And anything that comes up, for example, in a staff meeting, say that your principal is giving out reminders about leave policy during a staff meeting, and they say something that contradicts what is new because of the CBA. Make sure that before you bring it to the office for us to potentially act on, that you are going to your administrator and saying, hi, I'm going to send you an email, or better yet, I've just sent you an email requesting for you to remind me of what you told me regarding the leave policy, and any documentation, rules, regulations, or anything that you have that you're basing that on. I need that as well.
So we did see in writing about bereavement leave that the division is requiring a death certificate, proof of death. That is not in the contract, and it is not required for bereavement leave. So we have to follow the contract. And when you look at the contract for bereavement leave, you need to follow the steps to request the leave. Um, and then you need to notify your administrator. Bereavement leave does not need to be taken consecutively and does not require proof of death. So, what we're needing from individuals in PWA, if you're denied bereavement leave, to please reach out to us with that in writing. However, we have seen the email that went out to staff with regards to putting the additional layer of requiring a doctor's or a death certificate for bereavement leave, and we are taking next steps with regards to that. But know that anything that we do additionally outside of the contract only um, puts additional hurdles on all of us. So even though if you want to say, well, I have a death certificate, so it's not that big of a deal, it might not be that big of a deal to you, but it is a big deal to 11,000 of us that are treated like professionals and treated like we are owed the respect that we have within the contract, which means that when a immediate family member, and that's defined in the contract, that is your grandparent, that is your step parent, it is not just the stereotypical immediate family. So know how that is defined in the contract, and then take the leave. So you have additional 7 days of sick leave that you could put towards bereavement leave for a total of 10. So we're going to take next steps in the PWEA office to ensure that you have the right to bereavement leave without providing a death certificate. And so what we need from you all is to ensure and protect your right within the contract. So
And we know that's what we're seeing across the division, not just with leave or meeting with reps, but with a number of issues that it really appears that the division in many cases is trying to establish a precedent that takes as many steps back from the intention of the language that was negotiated and agreed to at the bargaining table and then ratified by our members as they can. Because if they are able to get away with it unchallenged, we go into next year and at that point we try to challenge it, it gives them another way to point at it and say, well, we were already doing this and you never challenged it. So clearly, this was an acceptable interpretation of the CBA language.
right.
So we have to.
So the first year, maybe even 2, 3 years of the contract, it really is going to take unfair labor practice charges as well as going to an arbiter to um, define how we negotiated the contract to ensure that both parties are adhering to. So there is a power struggle occurring. Katie, do you want to talk about how important it is to make sure that we're holding administration accountable for the contract?
Absolutely. If we're not holding administrators accountable to the contract, then what is the contract, right? It is our obligation now that we have a contract to ensure that our rights are protected, not only for ourselves, but for each other. Just like Maggie said earlier, that it's so important that we go in there knowing the contract, right? That we go in there willing to defend what our rights are, and that we understand that we're protecting not only ourselves, but each other's. Because if we're not protecting each other, what else do we
Right. So what we're working on in the PWA office right now with regards to protecting all of us with the contract are we're working on ensuring that bereavement leave is followed by the contract. We're looking at ensuring that the grievance process is followed through with. We're looking at going into arbitration and a couple issues to protect our reps, which inevitably then protects the members at your site. So, just like our governing documents say that, you know, having a rep at each site is important, but having multiple reps is dividing and conquering the workload, and it helps all of us. So ensuring that reps have the ability to have, um, you know, leadership and a team built at their school is important. And so we're working on that, as well as ensuring that we set the stage appropriately when we start this negotiation, this contract, is that who defines leadership for PWA is our members, not HR, not Bondi, um,
have? Not Eric,
not Eric,
not Dr. Latif.
no,
I'm using all the buzzwords today.
right. But the people that define our leadership are our members who vote to elect our reps, and we don't take it lightly. We want to ensure that our reps are trained and they have the skills and resources needed to be your union representative. So, with that said,
if your leave is denied, that also, and it's denied for a reason that violates the CBA, a screenshot of that denial is also the documentation that we're requesting. Sorry, just wanted to make sure that I added that.
All right, we're over 10 minutes. Shame on us. Shame on you for still watching. You should be gone. So, with that said, see you next time.
Solidarity.
Adios.